So hi there again everyone, this is again Alan and welcome back to my channel. Last year we have hoarded so many watercolor sets and brands. So again, for the third time this month and this year we are gonna be reviewing another watercolor brand, and that's no other than the Boku-Undo E-sumi watercolors from Japan. I got my set in Amazon US last year 2019 for $14 or 750 Philippine pesos. I believe the price varies from time to time depending on the season or depending on the sale or depending on where you are coming from as well. Aside from Amazon US, I have not found any sellers yet. So for the Filipino artists who would like to try this out, I got 3 additional sets with me when I ordered, and I'll be having this available on my Shoppe store, so I'll be putting the link below if you want to try it. But of course the price is different because the price of $14 does not include yet the shipping fees, the Amazon Prime membership, and handling fees, etc. So just check the link below or in the description box if you want to try this out. The box is an ordinary paper box, and it's nothing special, but it's beautifully designed. I think it's very simple, and it says here Japanese watercolor, and the other characters are in Japanese, so I used a translator app for this, and I am showing now on the screen what it means. So it says here it's made based on ink and the world of new colors, and on the side it says here shadow black. Here is the same lettering, I think, and behind you can see here the other shadow black and number code here and some numbers. I think this is the number of the company, and here's their website, www.boku-undo.com.japan, where they are giving some explanation. So I'm giving you a screenshot here. So they said the producing of sumi ink sticks. Sumi is made by kneading together soot from pine and other plants, seed oils, and bone glue, then adding perfume, casting it in a vessel, and letting it dry. It seems simple, but in order to make the most of these ingredients, it is best to use traditional methods by which sumi was made 2,000 years ago. The sumi made by the traditional methods has not lost its color today and will continue to maintain its color in the future. Sumi is like wine in that it matures over time. High quality sumi continues to mature from 1 to 2 years to 5 or even more years after it is made. Every day, the color tone of sumi becomes more beautiful. This is what we think genuine sumi is. It is not just black ink, but something that goes on living over many tones of years and continues to deepen in smoothness and richness as it is used. So obviously this is made in Japan by Boku-Undo.co Ltd. So now let's take a look inside. So this is how it looks like. There are 6 colors here, so it is covered in plastic. So now we can peel this off. So if you're looking only at the pans, you cannot actually identify what color it is. So it is important not to interchange the assignment of the pans because they all look black except for the yellowish black, which looks like dark gray. So this is an individual pan. I don't know if this is a full pan or bigger. So I have here with me a full pan. So this is a sonnet full pan. It looks like twice, or not even twice, more than twice or even thrice. But a full pan is filled up to the brim, unlike this one, which is only, I think, filled halfway. And of course this is a half pan. And whenever we talk about Japanese watercolors, aside from Holbein, the next thing that comes to our mind is the Kuretake Gansai Tambi watercolors, which also has the same size of pans as the Boku-Undo. So here's a comparison. Obviously, they look the same. The size looks very comparable. but the difference I think on the side is that you can see that the Boku-Undo has more angular shaped pans, whereas the Kuretake Gansai Tambi has a tapered edge. I think they're very much comparable in size and proportion. So here are the three sizes: a full pan, a half pan, and okay, let's call this a Japanese pan. You might be looking for my review of the Kuretake Gansai Tambi. Unfortunately, I have not done my review of this yet, but who knows, I might review it next. Please just stay tuned to that. I know you guys are all excited and curious to try this out because this is a really interesting set. They're all muted, they're all dark, so we are all wondering how this is gonna work as a set. So now let's proceed on our swatches. And for the swatches, as usual, I'm using 185 Arches watercolor paper, and I have written or have drawn here my boxes for swatching. As you can see, I did not write anything aside from the color name because there are no light fastness code provided, there are no pigment codes provided, because as Dave mentioned, they're using here Sumi ink, and that is a Japanese ink. So this is not obviously your usual or your typical watercolors. And as you can see, I've also added 6 more boxes here. So these boxes are intended for the colors that I think are very comparable to the Boku-Undo E-sumi watercolors. So for example, for reddish black, I think the closest there is the Caput Mortuum of Sennelier watercolors. I just based my guesses on how they appear on the swatches, but let's see if they're gonna match, if they're gonna really match visually on our actual tests. Okay, so let's begin. And as usual, I'm not re-wetting the pans to be fair with the other brands that we have reviewed. Okay, so now let's start with reddish black. If it's concentrated, it looks actually very dark, very close to black. So you need to add more water to see its color. And I think there is also granulation happening. I'm not sure. Let's see once it's dry. And it's very beautiful. It looks very interesting. Next is yellowish black. Which actually doesn't look like yellow. It actually looks a muddy green. So in full concentration, it looks really a very muted green. Next, we have greenish black. Wow, this is really beautiful. I love greens that are very deep. That's why in my palette, I never lose Perylene green. And this is more earthy. Next, we have bluish black. Wow, this is also very dark. And it looks like Payne's gray, not even indigo. And by the way, they're very easy to wet. Next, we have purplish black. This is very good for shadows. It's very deep. I love this. So far, I'm loving all the colors. They're easy to wet. They're very strong. And lastly, brownish black. Wow, this is so nice. So here is our Boku-Undo E-sumi watercolors swatches. They're very deep and muted. So now let's color the matches. So for the reddish black, the color that I chose is Kaput Mortum from Sennelier, and let's see if they're gonna match. Boku-Undo is deeper, darker, and more muted as compared to Sennelier's Kaput Mortum or PR101. Next is olive green. I chose olive green to match the yellowish black, but I think they're very different. I think a closer color here is the raw umber. I will be putting raw umber here later on. Next is greenish black, so the color that I chose to match that is Zoisite Genuine. Zoisite Genuine is more, it's greener and it's granulating. Next is bluish black, so the match I think is the Sodalite Genuine. Yeah, I think they're very close, but I think the Sodalite Genuine is deeper. And next for purplish black, I got Moonglow, also from Daniel Smith. This is more purple, this is brighter, of course, than the purplish black. And lastly, for brownish black, we have Sepia from Shinhan PWC. The brownish black still looks more muted. So now let's have additional color. German greenish raw umber, which is I think closer to yellowish black. So yeah, I think this is closer, but still the yellowish black from Boku-Undo is really much deeper and earthier. So now here is our swatch set. So now let's do our sample painting. So as you can see, the colors don't actually move that much. So this is the yellowish black, and let's try mixing bluish black if we can achieve a green. So this is a very muted green now. It's really deep and you need to handle this well, otherwise you will get overwhelmed. As you can see, these paints are giving me feels, very cold feeling. And I like it. So as you can see, it's really perfect for pine trees, especially the deep leaves of pine trees. Let me just give you a closer look, though it's still wet. So now we are done with our sample painting and our swatches are now dry. So now let's take a closer look. Overall, the colors of Boku-Undo are very intense and they're mostly, I think, transparent with the exception of the yellowish black. They really have this inky feel because they don't have granulation, they don't have individualized character, but they offer sophistication. Again, I don't know if this set deserves to be compared with other brands because the color selection is really unique and sophisticated. But anyway, let's do this. And for the comparison, I've chosen some Asian brands. And let's start, of course, with the made in Japan, the Holbein Artists Watercolors. Of course, obviously, the Holbein Artists Watercolors are very bright, very colorful. And okay, I'm not giving any point to any of these, just for visual comparison. Okay, so this is a sample painting using Holbein. Next is Sonnet Watercolors. Of course, these are very bright colors. Next is Mijello Gold Class, Paul Rubens Watercolors, and lastly, White Nights by St. Petersburg. So now, if you're gonna ask me, would I recommend this set? Yes, certainly, I do recommend this. This is very unique, this is very inspiring. But if you are a beginner, I don't recommend you to buy this first. I would suggest you to get a set that has the primary colors, and from that primary color set you can learn to mix your colors. You can actually achieve some of these colors using the primary color set. If you are not a beginner and if you have already been exploring watercolors for quite some time, you can also try this out because this is very interesting. I have not seen any set with these deep colors yet. And this can also give you or teach you discipline in focusing to just a very specific subject, some let's say gothic feeling urbanscape, or a very dramatic or gloomy scene from, you know, from the old times, or a very cold landscape like this. This is very much achievable using these colors. But of course, if you're into a very bright summer day, beachside painting, or into a very colorful floral paintings, I don't think this is for you. But you can also challenge yourself. You can also paint sophisticated bouquet flowers using the reddish black and the yellowish black. Who knows? Also the purplish black. So this is really an interesting set, but it is very limited, I think, when it comes to you achieving bright and colorful paintings. Of course, this is not intended for that, obviously. So it is up to you to explore if you ever want to try these watercolors out. So I think that's all. If you have any questions, suggestions, comments, or reactions, please just let me know. Comment it down and I'll be responding as soon as I can. If you're not subscribed yet, please do subscribe to help my channel grow. And please don't also forget to like and share this video. Again, thank you very much for watching and see you again next week.